I think what makes The Next Generation so appealing to me as a show is their ability to toe the line between genres. Of course, at its heart, it's a science fiction show, but sometimes it can become an action series, or a drama, or a detective story. What I'd like to talk about today is one of those other genres that the show dips into rather frequently: horror. Specifically, I wanted to discuss episode 2 of season 2, where silence has lease. This episode is quite interesting because this is the first time we see actual horror in The Next Generation. Now, the episode starts off with Riker and Worf training in the holodeck. At first glance, this is seemingly unrelated to the rest of the episode. Maybe it was a trick by the writers, throw the viewers off, make them think this will be just another episode, par for the course. I think they may have shown this short preamble as a means to later show the importance of Worf's fear when the crew is confronted with the purple blob of nothing. This was our first clue that this episode would not be like the rest. Worf is fearless. He's a Klingon warrior. But here we see him making rash suggestions based on fairy tales he heard as a child. This is unsettling for the crew, and you can feel how uneasy this makes everyone on the bridge, and in turn, the viewer. Most of the first half of the episode is the bridge crew poking and prodding at the purple blob and trying to make sense of it all. That is until they are enveloped into it and can no longer escape. Also, the new doctor is super racist towards Data. I hate her, and I feel like she is never redeemed, even when the writers try to in later episodes. Fuck this bitch. I'll probably make a video on her later. But I digress. I think the really scary stuff starts when Riker and Worf beam over to the Yamato. The whole scene could be ripped straight from an episode of The Twilight Zone. In fact, that's what this entire episode reminds me of. The colors look desaturated from the darkness of the Yamato, almost to a black and white extent. The music is as ominous as the shadows that our characters cast as they walk through the winding halls that should be familiar, but just aren't. It's almost akin to the uncanny valley, and the actors' expressions relate just as much. The scream that they both hear from one another, leading them to be reconnected, but somehow leads them to be just as confused as when they first beamed aboard. In fact, it's the utter confusion that makes this episode so damn scary. For the first time in the series, we see the very people we expect to have all the answers draw a blank. It's a complete subversion of what we have come to expect. The worst part about it is that there seems to be no answer from the beginning to the end. They are just as lost at the beginning of the episode as they were at its climax, except Picard seems to have an answer. The most human, real, and macabre answer there is. You see, once Nagilum shows them his face, and the crew now knows exactly what this all is: a test, an experiment. They are lab rats trapped in a maze with no exits. The only option is to be forced to submit to the torture or suicide. Picard, Riker, and presumably everyone else aboard the ship thinks the same way. This is so different from what we have come to expect from the series before. There is truly only one way out, and Picard is willing to take it. Yes, there have been a few times where the Enterprise is at the mercy of an insurmountable power, like the Q or the Borg, but this is the first time they suffer a devastating loss, and this is a loss. The first time we see them without any options or any hope. This is exactly what makes this episode so damn scary. Well, that along with the nightmare fuel that is Nagilum's face. Again, they are dipping into the uncanny valley, rather intentionally, I might add, but this time, we, the viewers, are forced to see it too. Through Nagilum's face, we can feel exactly what the characters have been feeling throughout the entire episode. What the fuck is that? What the hell is going on? It's unsettling to say the least, and I'm so glad I didn't have to watch this shit when I was a kid. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. My last Next Generation video had a lot of discourse, and I like to keep that up. Peace.